Pass. Pass. Pass.
Yes, on the way
Pass.
in order to set up the game. Yes. This is
Pass.
usually how most people take them, and it's probably the best way to do it as well. Okay, that's a little different than what I thought, but that's perfectly fine. Everyone prefers different handicaps, handicap methods. I prefer securing the. I actually prefer securing the two corners, but that is. It doesn't really matter how you take the handicap six, unless it's like completely ridiculous, which none of these are, obviously. So yeah, handicap six. I am getting more used to playing these. I am actually getting used to playing more of these handicaps, actually. Because I've been playing a lot of them lately. That's not bad. If you are playing me, you should probably turn off the stream because playing against myself is not fun. One jump is better than two jumps here. So we're going to approach here. And like I said, this answer is perfectly fine. I think I think like most people closer to one Dan would definitely play here or somewhere to pincer both these two. But if you're playing a high handicap game, you may not want that. You should definitely Hane here. Letting me get the corner is too much of an advantage. The thing is about these games, like it's fine to make mistakes and lose, but you can't play scared. If you play scared, you're eventually going to lose anyways because you're going to give up too much territory. And you won't learn as much if you play scared. Okay, I'm actually just going to come approach this way. Actually, like I think D5 would be a really big move just for shape purposes, but I'm not going to do that right now. This sets up an interesting shape because this isn't a very solid shape here. But he does have a lot of territory on the side that I will find very hard to counter later on. I'll say that until later. I'm just going to Tiger's Mouth this first. I feel like if you are actually like really close in terms of like a play, if I was playing an even game, I would definitely play something like D10 to solidify because these two stones are very weak now. But at this point, I don't feel the need to actually play D10 because six stone handicap. You're giving so much handicap that you do need to take advantage of you just being better than the other person. If you don't, you're not going to win. That's kind of a weird move, but sure. Um, if this was an even game, I'd pretty much be sacrificing these two, which I would never do at this point. But I think I can somehow jerry rig this so I don't sacrifice those two. Yeah, this is definitely not good for him. This is alive now. I'm pretty sure this is alive. Yeah, it's alive. But this is actually not a great result for white because you're essentially sacrificing these two. Now he has to decide how to attack those two. I'm not going to bother with that. I'm just going to come here. This isn't very big. There wasn't too much territory down here anyways. That's generally not a good move. At least not for right now. Gote there is definitely not worth it. White can come in here, which is what I'm going to do. You don't need to do that right now. You really don't. I'm just going to go do that just because I don't think I can kill him or anything. But I am going to have all these invasions now because I want to threaten this now. Technically, there's no threat to this particular shape right now. But I want to get rid of some territory. And in such a huge handicap game, I'm not actually worried about him building influence because like I'm going to guess that I can reduce that influence much better than he can actually take advantage of that influence. That's I'm gonna go ahead and do that just to see if he responds. Okay, like most people would like a Dan level player probably would not have responded to that, but this actually puts him in a little bit of danger. Not much, but a little bit of danger. I'm not actually trying to kill him unless he just lets me. That's also a pretty bad move because, yeah, it's not a good move for him. If I can wrap around the outside while destroying his territory, that's a huge victory for me. That still doesn't make you alive, technically. I'm actually gonna let him. I'm actually gonna let him live more or less because there's no. I mean, there's no point. I'm probably gonna just let him live because I want to make sure that my outside is safe. I could do this, but then he can play here, and then he would be alive anyways. So as long as he doesn't get the sequencing completely wrong, he's not going to die. I do notice that OGS, like in the DDQ range, I definitely notice that OGS DDQs are weaker. Yeah, that's alive because if you Hane on both sides, I definitely noticed that OGS DDQs are definitely weaker than AGA DDQs. I think OGS did do that on purpose though. Just to compensate for like the handicap difference. These invasions I generally don't recommend. They don't. There's not much territory here, but if you're playing if you're playing a handicap game, you kind of have to sort of do this stuff just to see how they actually react. Because I mean, like you have to take territory from them somehow, right? And right now, there's not a lot of black groups for me to actually attack. No, let's just retreat. I don't really know why you would do that. Okay, there's really nothing there. So this is not a good invasion, but it's a big enough handicap game to where I'm going to do this. But that generally is not a great invasion because there's almost no territory there. And this does not create a good This is actually not good for white. That's a bad move. But I mean, this is generally not a good thing for white because this group is pretty weak as well. So you're creating different really weak groups. Now there's the fact I can probably go underneath and connect the two. I don't want to, but it is a possibility for me to do so. I don't know why you would do that. Okay, that doesn't actually fix the problem because the purpose of extending down here is so you can play R19. That does not actually fix R19. I'm going to do this. There's a purpose of doing this. This is usually not a great move, but there is a purpose of doing that. So since I did this, I can now do that. Because now if he goes this way, there's a tiger's mouth there. So this move is not like I don't do this move like if you don't have something like this, right? Oh wait, no, that doesn't actually work. But okay, that might have actually not worked. So I'll gladly take that though. If he connected down there, it might have actually not worked. I guess. That doesn't make any sense, but okay. So you have this group being kind of weak here, right? So you want to come up and strengthen this group because black has a lot of surrounding stones. This group is not under threat. It has two eyes. I can't kill it. This group is no longer under threat. Now would be a really good time to connect this. It's fine if I let him do that. I'm going to see if I can fish for a response. You usually wouldn't respond to this, and you usually wouldn't respond to this either. But the thing is, in a handicap game, you kind of have to. Well, this one you do have to respond to, but it's not necessarily good for white. But in a handicap game, you do have to take these kind of advantages. If I am allowed to play here, it would sort of be a threat to him. It would be a threat to him. Well, actually, it wouldn't because it's already out. That particular stone, like black playing there, doesn't actually matter because it doesn't threaten to cut off white. So that's another big advantage that I got. So the correct way to respond to this is R18. So I'm gonna nice move out. There is no threat to this group right now because it's out first of all, and if he just blocks, there's two eyes in there. There's nothing I can do about that. But him giving me a lot of free moves does not bode well for him. At this point, I can make moves like that. I think I will. I'm just going to try to get a little bit of territory in here. I guess. Not too much, but I want to make the eye shape. A big eye shape. So this group is really not under threat anymore. He's going to connect that, but that's fine. There's no need for me to do anything down here. Except for take the Sente moves. These aren't necessarily big, but they do solidify me more. And I don't think at this point black is winning anymore. So, as the player playing white, you're generally okay at this point. This particular move is just going to be free points for me, so he can go over top. Well, or he can do that. You should go over top first before you do that. I'm going to solidify, like, well, I'm just going to make this a little bit more secure. That doesn't necessarily help him. I mean, it sort of does, I guess. That's definitely a mistake, giving me all this here. Because, I mean, there wasn't much territory in here in the first place. So you're actually losing out on this. Even if I gave up the corner, it would be okay. And plus, like, you have to remember, this is always Sente for me later on. That doesn't really matter. I'm just going to go ahead and play this and then make sure this is alive. I don't think I have to make sure that's alive. I'm pretty sure that's just alive by itself. So that stone is not worth anything, so you just cut this off. And the thing is, you do not want to connect the stone, because if you connect the stone, then he can actually cut you out here. If he tries to cut, you can kill him here, so it's not a big deal. So he can't actually cut this. You can let him have that stone. Like, this stone plus whatever this stone is worth much less than this down here and this. So it's a huge positive trade for white. I mean, like, when you play these moves, like, sometimes I think it's just, like, failures in reading. But when you actually play these moves, you have to think about, like, what I'm gaining versus what I'm giving up. If you're giving up more than you're gaining, then eventually you're just going to lose the game. You can't actually, he can't actually cut here. If he could, I would have just retreated and let him cut on this and then take this stone as well. So it's, yeah. He does get some territory in there. That definitely should have been Haned. I can't do anything if he Hanes. Still can't do anything if he Hanes. So I'm going to extend this up, because if he Ataris this, there might be some potential in here. Although I didn't kill any giant groups this time around, like, this was just a lot of, like, smaller mistakes that eventually doomed his game. I'm just gonna jump here. There's not much you can do in there. So if he gives me this stone, he doesn't give me the stone, then, you know, he doesn't get any territory, right? But if he gives me that stone, I'm going to do this first. He can't block because otherwise there's a, yeah. So if he gave me that stone, I would have once again gained more than he actually gained. And before I cut this, I'm going to do this because if I'm going to try to attempt to kill his group, which I can't, by the ways, or at least I'm not supposed to be able to kill his group. And there's 2 eyes in here. There's no way I can kill him. And plus, like, I haven't really cut this yet, so yeah, there's no way I can actually kill him. That's pretty big. So is this. So if you're SDK, you might not know how to kill this one. That's how you kill it. This is a fake eye. If you're DDK, you might not actually know how to kill that. And that's how you kill it. I mean, technically you could play this and do the Liberty thing with me, but that doesn't really make any sense. Just going to go ahead and do that. At this point, you like for a lot of the players, like you need to be able to assess what's a threat and what's not, and play accordingly. If you aren't actually able to do that, then you're going to have a hard time at advancing up ranks. Being able to assess what's a threat is a big deal in terms of moving up ranks. There's no need to connect that, and there's no need to connect this, but I'm going to go here anyways just to fix any real problem, any would-be problems. That's fine. That's 2 points. So he essentially traded 2 points for all of this down here in that move. So that's like, those are the kind of trades that will definitely make you lose a lot of games. Right now there's 2 extra liberties, so I'm pretty sure I can, you know what, I'm going to be safe and just play this first. Yeah, like you wouldn't do this generally because you still have 2 liberties here, so you don't need this, but eventually you're going to have to do that, and I'm ahead enough in this game where it doesn't matter all that much if I lose like 1 cente right now. When you're winning, you generally just want to make sure you win, and you don't make any stupid like late game mistakes. It's when you're losing that you want to, or when the game is really close, that you want to squeeze out every last possible thing. I don't think, yeah, I do actually, never mind. It is when you're losing that you want to squeeze out every possible thing. When you're winning, you really don't. If you're winning by like, 20, 30 points or more, you really don't have to squeeze out every possible, every last little possible thing. And you can just take some time to fix any mistakes that you might have that might actually cause you to lose. If I connect this, he does have to do something here. Because I can play T16 and then play T18. Right now, I don't know if it... Yeah, it would work, actually. No, actually, right now it wouldn't work because I can't connect. So I would have to connect this before I can play the T16, T18 move. Or you can just fix it right now. It doesn't really matter, I guess. Eventually, I'm going to want to do something here, but I'm going to just close this off right now. Usually I wouldn't actually play the endgame like this. I would be trying to force out Sentes, but like I said, right now there's very little point in doing that. It's fine. There's not much left. I'm just going to connect this. I can play this right now. There's nothing here because this is very solid. Connect this. They're also... Oh, I should have hunted this. My bad. But connecting that is a point. He could play this, but there's very little point in playing that. You know what? I'm just going to do this. This is alive now, so there's no like chance for Seki or Ko or anything in here. Not that there was any chance for Seki or Ko, ever, because there's so many different liberties out here.
Pass.
Is there any more points? I don't think so.
Remove the dead stones.
Even had I not killed this or killed this, I'd still be ahead, but
You have won.
so let's actually take a little bit of time to review this game. Game reviews are just as important as the actual. I passed 5 times, so this is a handicap game. It's handicap 6. I think generally like something like this is better, but it doesn't matter that much. It's a difference of a point or two. So that's fine. You definitely doing this, you should definitely go down, or just take the 1 space jump. The 2 space jump leaves a lot of room for variability later, much more than the 1 space jump. So not horrible, but not great either. Here, I think most even players would either play this move or play this move. So if I was playing even, I would definitely be doing this. And I do think the correct move is to separate the 2 stones. But if you're wanting to play safe, this is perfectly fine as well. It's not bad. This is a big mistake. This is definitely Hane. Once again, for those of you that haven't seen the Joseki, then you just go somewhere else. That's the Joseki. You can also, if you don't want to give up the corner, you can also do this. I mean, you can do this as well. I don't really like following up, but you can also just kind of do this. So both those are fine. There's more complicated variations of Josekis, but black has the choice of what to play, so I would play one of those two. Letting me get the corner, pretty big mistake. The thing is, like, you're letting me disrupt your Moyo, and by giving me these three and this stone, you're also putting more pressure on these three. So I'm going, jumping up. Jumping up still leaves, like problems later on, and then yeah, jumping up still leaves problems later on. That doesn't actually solve your problem. Why should definitely play this right now, because now there's like surrounding on these two stones. So I'm gonna do this instead. Because this is a big shape move as well. If you do this, I'd go over Hane, and this shape is just pretty good for white. So that also doesn't really do much. Like, at this point, white should definitely play this. This move kind of forces this move, because now if you invade down here, white's two stones are really in danger. But, so like in an even game, you should definitely play this. But for me, I'm going to invade the corner. Not a good move, but I'm going to invade the corner and see what he does. Because the best case scenario for me here, basically on an even game, if I invade the corner, is I live the corner and then he kills these two stones, which is not a good trade for me. So that's why that's not a good good move. This is okay. I mean, you could honestly just do this as well. That's fine. Obviously, it's advantage white, but then you have Sente to, do whatever over here. This is more of a risky move. I mean, it's probably the one I would make myself. I don't think you Hana here. I think you just do this. Because white can do this. But now these two stones are just really weak. Once again, like I said, I'm trading the corner for these two, which isn't horrible for me, but it's definitely not a great move for white. But this is definitely not good for white. You definitely do not. I definitely don't think you play that. You gotta, like, you've built up all this wall and all this thickness, and you have 1, 2, 3 stones here. You have to attack these two. Like, if you don't attack these two, and you give me a way to connect those two, you're losing out big on like the wall that you built here. Because these two stones are basically going to cancel out the influence you built up here if you don't actually attack white. So doing this, trading this for this, I think is generally not that great for black. Because you're kind of wasting these stones here now, and you just gave me the corner for free. Yes, you can do this. Right now, like if I was black, I would pretty much do this immediately. And force white to do that, because you get some territory here, and then white's still kind of weak up here, and then I would probably just attack up here. This I should have just, like, this is, oops, sorry. This is not a great move. I can just ignore you. I don't want you to fly up here, though, so I did just do that. I mean, you don't really gain too much down here. This is definitely a bad move. I can't kill you right now here. And, like, wasting a move right here is very, very bad. Because there's a lot of big moves out there that you can do. And basically, like, you wasted a move here, which is important right now. I probably should have just blocked this at this point. I'm doing this first. He has to answer that, or I kill that. That's no good for him. This is not a great invasion. Like I said, I definitely would have just done that if in an even game. So in terms of this, you have a lot of options. It is kind of annoying. You can play this. So that would be a little bit hard for you to answer. You can go down here, because if I try to seal you in, I mean, if I try to seal you in like this, if worst comes to worst, you can always go back using that tactic. Yes, you do have to give me some influence up here, but you do get some territory over here in compensation. And the influence up here isn't really worth all that much, because black already has all these stones jumping here. So I think like for a SDK, like a DDK answer, like you would probably do this because it's a pretty solid shape. If white does this, you can just Hane out. Now white can choose to do something like this, but this isn't exactly great for white because you might be sacrificing these two stones now if you do that. So yeah, if you do this, like there's not really that much white can do. If he doesn't want to sacrifice the stones, he has to do that. And then it's just like a fight that's not very favorable to white right now. And technically, I shouldn't have answered this. I should have just jumped out. Because once I answered it, you could have easily gone over top or done something like this. If I Atari here, you can just counter Atari. In other words, this isn't big enough to warrant answering right now. And like me jumping out is much, much bigger. Like you need to attack the stone somehow, put pressure on the stone somehow. It doesn't matter if you go over top or you do something like this. I think I would probably prefer this if I was black right now. But going over top is fine as well. I mean, this might look like it's great for white, but realize like you're getting all this thickness up here, and this makes making this territory a lot easier. It also sort of hints at attacking these stones on the other side to create this territory here. So like at this point, I don't actually think like white, like I would have to take that if you did that, but I don't think like trading just a couple points on the bottom for all this influence up here is actually good for white. But you let me jump out, which puts these stones at risk, and it blows up your Moyo, so that's a definite big loss. Here, this is generally a bad move. It fixes one of my, what could be a problem later. And the thing is, I don't even have to really do that. I can just do this as well, if I really wanted to. But this is a little bit more tricky here, especially since this ladder doesn't actually work. But I can also just play here, and you would have to do this, and then I can just take this. So I can also make this move if I really wanted to, but I just decided to take the easy route and connect. This doesn't, I mean, like, you know, if I play F6, it's still really bad for black. So it doesn't really solve your problem. It just makes me a little bit stronger. There's a time to peep, and there's a time to not peep. And this is one of those times where you definitely don't peep. Also here, you just want to come out. If I do this, just connect this, like I can't really disconnect you, and you can easily just connect. So you definitely want to come out and not let me get the outer cover. Yes, you can live down here. I can't actually kill you, but you're losing so much. I mean, if you're going to live, you know, you can do that and just kind of leave it alone. Then maybe do this or something. That's still alive. That's still going to be alive. I mean, these two don't really matter. I mean, they do matter because this is weak, but if this is already connected, it doesn't really matter. But the way you went about it is not so great because you're Gote at this point. Because you know, this is not, you're Gote at this point, and you let me get this move over here, which means your territory over here is gone. I'm fairly stabilized right now, and you didn't really get much except for like, you know, this group being alive, which isn't all that much. Coming out here, that's fine. You're still ahead at this point, by the way. Coming out here, that's fine, but I'm going to ignore it and invade here. Like, these invasions are generally not good. If I invade here, you can just play here. Likewise, if I invade here, jumping up isn't a bad response, but you can also just take the territory over here as well. This is still like a weak stone. I would have to jump anyways. So you can easily play it like that. Also, invading here is not really that great because this is still bigger. That's the biggest move right now, I would guess. Jump, I jump. That is, I think, the correct move. That's the wrong move because that doesn't really threaten me. I'm going to go ahead and do this. You retreat backward, but you just gave me another Sente. This is a very bad invasion. I think that would be the best move to do. I mean, you could just do this as well, but that would let me connect. I would personally do this. White does not win this fight. So yeah, white generally does not win this. White does not win this fight. Black actually wins this fight. So that's not good for white, obviously. So in this, like when you, especially if you have this jump and white invades here, you can definitely invade. You can definitely do this to threaten. Like it's like this kind of shape actually occurs a lot in DDK handicap games. Because this kind of invasion have like white's essentially just fishing for your response. Now white can do something like this, but that's not good for white either because this group is weak, this group is weak, and this group is weak. So black has one weak group that's really not all that weak because he has connecting stones over here. White has 3 weak groups now, so that's not a very good. That's actually not a very good play for white. So this move is pretty critical in this kind of shape. This is turning out to be like how to like easy steps to attacking. Jumping out lets me jump out. This is not bad for black because white, like I said, only has 1 weak group, whereas black has 1, 2, 3 weak groups, and you need to take advantage of that. That's a very bad move. It does see like when you peep, you have to actually get something out of the peep. Like if you're trying to destroy eyes, that's fine, but in this instance, you're not really trying to destroy eyes. And you're not really fixing anything of yours. So when you peep, you basically just basically make me more solid and stronger. That's completely pointless because there's no problem here. Like if like me, yeah, this is not worth it. Like you definitely want to just jump out or something. If you jump out, now you're threatening this group, and then you can come out over here and threaten this group as well. And if I do this, you can threaten this group. So wherever I play, you can threaten. Wherever I play, you can actually threaten another group. So, like the thing is that you want to continue threatening as many of my groups as possible to get an advantage or possibly kill one of the groups. That's a wasted move. It doesn't do anything. This is also a wasted move, by the ways. Like you don't need to respond to that. You really don't need to respond to that at all. And I don't think he did. I was just fishing for a response there. Realistically, I probably should have just done this right away. And here, at this point, I wouldn't actually respond to this if I was black. I would definitely just divide these 2 groups. Because, if I do this now, you can just attack this group. And if this group dies, then black wins. So you need to give yourself an option of what to actually attack. This doesn't do anything. This still doesn't if you're gonna respond to this move, you just need to block. You just need to block, because doing this move, it doesn't stop me from invading the corner. Before you play a move, you have to answer what does the move achieve? This if I play this move, you can just connect here, right? Or Tiger's Mouth or something. So playing this move doesn't achieve anything, and it doesn't stop me from invading your corner. So I'm going to do this first. Obviously, doing this, I'm just fishing for this. So the thing I was wondering is, does this actually work? I don't know. I would have to... I would actually... No, that doesn't work. That's ko, and I'm not going to win that ko. I would actually have to do this, and I think this actually does work to where, yeah, white does actually win, I guess, this fight. So I guess you're right that he has to connect this up here. I get this. If you're going to do this, you might as well cut. I have to connect. This is fine because this ladder actually works. I think this ladder works. There's some stones over here. If this ladder doesn't work, then you might have problems, but I think the ladder works. If the ladder doesn't work, you can just take the stone. It's perfectly fine. This group isn't really under any threat. That really doesn't make any sense. I don't really know why you would do that. I'm going to come up here and do this because I need to strengthen this group. This is the only group that could actually be under threat later. okay, you're doing that. I'm going to just go over. See, like, I don't mind flattening out this group now. I don't mind flattening this group out at all right now because this group is already alive because of the space. Connecting here, that means I can actually Hane out here, but black should probably just do this. If I Hane out here, oh well. If I Hane out here, you don't really disconnect. You just keep on attacking this group. Because remember, like, if you kill this group, you win. You kill this group, you win. So even if I get these 4 stones, as long as you kill this group, you win. And I would have to spend several. I would actually have to spend several moves to actually try to kill this group. Like here, I would be basically gifting this group to you, and I would have to figure out somehow to get this territory big enough to actually win. And that's a big challenge. So like that group down there is really, really big. So threatening it is always going to work. Like you can't do this, right? But the thing is, like, you don't, like when I do this, you don't have to answer like that. You can just come over here. And if I do this, you can just come up top. This isn't really that threatening because you can always do this. So that's what, I mean, like I'm doing that. I'm basically connecting. You should not actually answer this. You should definitely attack that group, the white group down there. You answered that. I'm going to do this first. Once again, attack this group up here. This is worth a couple of points. Black's already out in the open. There's no threat to black. Answer, I'm going to do this first. I mean, if you're going to respond, like if I was, if I was black, I might actually respond to this. You can do this. It won't get you out, but it does give me a little bit of trouble. Actually, it might give me a little bit of trouble in there. But either way, like, if you're going to respond to this, like, you wouldn't do this, you would do this. Because, once again, if you respond like this, I don't have to respond. I basically just get that free move in the corner. So I come up here, that, peep, and then do that. Just maybe get a little bit of territory here. I'm going to start peeping all these. These are just, like, right now I consider this the end game. I personally think that if I was actually playing a regular game, I would probably spend an extra move to do this, just to make sure that this is alive. So I'm going to do this. That's not actually a good move, because that's an obvious push, right? And I think, like, here you would actually retreat. Because once again, like, if you do this, you're going to want to do this, and then maybe do something like this to get territory. But there's not that much territory here, and I think you gave up more over here anyways. So not retreating is definitely not the right move. Not Atariing is definitely not the right move here. You need to Atari. That's where you get the advantage. You can, I mean, like, it's hard to get the territory here, so it's not really worth it. So I gain a couple more points there. I'm going to solidify this to get, like, this much territory, and to make sure that there's no, like, hijinks down here. Because before I disconnected this, there were moves like this if I didn't have this. Like, let's say I didn't have that, right? And he does this. Like, this is actually hard for me to answer, because it cuts off that group. Now, that group is probably alive, right? But, I mean, this is not good for white. I mean, I could probably live up here, but I wouldn't want to deal with it. Like, it would break a lot of my territory. So here you just do this. Like, the thing is, like, this move is a mistake. I made this. Here you'd probably just do this and let me take this one. And then probably just do something like that. And then you would probably do this and try to get this territory in here. You also could go this way. This is alive. And that would actually break my eye structure here. and it would actually force me to look for more eyes. Now, could I actually get more eyes? Yeah, probably. I would probably just do this first. But the thing here is, I don't know if you would actually do this, actually. Does this work? No, this doesn't actually work. Yeah, it does, actually. Yeah, that may not work. At best, it's a co. So instead of doing that, you would do this. I'm not really sure if white's actually alive down here. It's not. I could do this. This gets a little bit more complex, but I'm pretty sure you're alive here. It's not alive here, but I'm pretty sure white... I do think it's difficult, but white could actually find a way to live down here. Hello? But either way, if you're going to do this, you would connect this, and then... I think you did connect this, actually. But you would definitely block this down here. Because if you... you doing this, like, this just gives me like 15 points. Yes, you did destroy about 5 points up here, but that's a net loss of 10 points for you. Or more, possibly. This makes 1 point, and I know that, like, you're thinking this, right? But you have to consider the option that when you Atari here, I just don't respond. And if I don't actually respond, you're losing one move at this point, which could be pretty big. And if there's another critical move elsewhere, then you're losing even more. So I'm definitely not going to respond to that. I'm definitely not going to respond to that at all. And the thing is, I did this first. You have to connect this. There's like more than 10 points down here. So obviously, if you're going to Atari, and this is only be worth 2 points, plus some other influential points, maybe 2 or 3 influential points, obviously I'm going to take like the 10, 15 points down here. And of course, you just fell behind by 10 or 15 more points here. The rest of this is just more or less cleaning up. There's not much else to teach here. By the way, if that actually did work, that doesn't work. But if it did work, I would just play here. I would give you some territory down here, but I would be able to only limit the losses to maybe like 6 or 7 points. So that's how that would work. So, all right, that's the review for this game. So just a lot of little mistakes and not being able to judge which move is threatening you for more points. And remember, I think I generally give enough time I give 10 minutes and then 5 periods of 30 Bioyomi, and that should be enough time for people to think a little bit. So you can actually gauge when you're trading, you have to make sure that you're not losing in the trade. That's pretty crucial, especially as you move up into the higher Q ranks. All right, I'm going to play another one. 4 to 14 Q. I've extended my range from 4 to 14 Q so more people can accept the challenge. So I will wait a couple of minutes for someone to actually accept this challenge. I don't know who's actually going to accept this challenge, but I will wait for someone to accept this challenge because I do want to play another teaching game right now. I generally try to play 2. Sometimes if I don't have enough time, I'll play 1. I think Colossus is streaming as well. He gives pretty good pointers to DDQ players to get to SDQ.
Game started.
All right, 6Q. So I'm going to pass once for handicap 2. So obviously 6Q and 14Q is going to be different. I'm not going to do 6 stones because I would definitely lose. I could probably come if I gave handicap 3 or 4, the game would probably be pretty close. Okay, if he wants to play even, that's fine.
Game resumed.
If he wants to play even, that's fine. I'm always okay for playing even. It's just that most players would rather play with a handicap where they have a higher chance of winning. And I think a lot of people like watching the handicap games. This is a Joseki method. I can either come down or I can connect. I'm gonna choose to connect here. I think overall, like this favors me. The corner's a little too big. He didn't block this off yet. He's obviously choosing to play thickness and influence, whereas I'm choosing to get the territory. See now, like this is completely different now because I'm actually going to play this now since it's an even game. Okay, how do I respond to this? I could go here. I could pincer. I think I'm going to pincer here. That is the correct play. But note that I can just do this right now. And this does follow pretty nice. He does pincer there. I'm actually going to move up right now. That would be the correct move to do here. I think I'm just going to go ahead and do this right now. Just secure my corner. That may not have been the best move, honestly. Ooh, he's giving up way too much here, I think. He's really trying to get his upper territory, but you're just giving away a lot. If he actually goes back this way, I'm fine with that. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to do that because I don't want him to cut. He still has to answer this, but he does get a lot of territory here. The real problem with this is that you're giving up so much territory down here. And I can actually just keep crawling here, or I can just invade here. And you're actually going to, if I invade here, you're actually in a hard spot. Because if you pincer me, I can jump. And then you would have to then you would actually have to make sure that I can't go back. Like if you pincer me, that's fine. I can go up. And I can just keep jumping. Like I don't have to answer this down here. And plus, like even if I answer down here, actually no, I should answer down here. I'm going to answer down here right now. I should answer down here. Because you still have to that's not a good move. There's not that many points in here. You still have to do that, yeah. And now since you did that, I get to expand this way into your other moyo. And I do get a lot of good eye shapes here. This corner is pretty clean now, I think. But the thing is, I can still come here. I'm not too afraid of this anymore. I don't think going over top's the best idea right now. Okay, this is respectable. He can try to attack this now because it's yeah, but I don't think he's going to be that successful in attacking it. Should I do that? No. This is actually really interesting. Because he has to connect here. Not the best move for me, but I'm just going to go over top again. And then, like, what did I do? Go out this way. There's a lot of, I actually have a lot of eye shape here. I don't think he can actually do this. Oh, wait. He might be able to. Never mind. I did give him a... If he is able to do this, I did give him a pretty big corner. So that might actually be sort of problematic. Yeah, I did give him a pretty big corner. But at this point, I'm not really afraid anymore. I don't think he can actually kill me now. He might be... can he? Might be able to, I guess. I'm just going to go over here then. Now I don't think he has any real chance of killing me. If he does this, that's going to be a pretty big mistake. Okay. So he's obviously trying to fish for this. I'm willing to play this. I don't... This might not be the best move, obviously, right now. But I am willing to fish for it. That's not going to be great. Because you're giving me this corner. There's not that much territory up here. I don't think he has any real chance of killing me. And like you've got to realize, and like I said, once you do this, you've actually got to realize that what you're giving up. I'm just gonna go ahead and live here. What you're actually giving up, because if he actually does this now, it's actually a pretty big threat. You've actually got to realize that what you're giving up is more than what you're gaining. The only territory that black has is this corner right now. I'm not sure if there's actually a way he can kill me in here. There might be, which is actually kind of problematic for me. That's fine. I'm going to play here just to make sure this is alive. I'm not 100% sure that that was alive. While this might look big, this does have a lot of its own problems, I think. Wait, let me make sure that's okay. Yeah, I think it's okay. Because I think this is at most 20 points, and I'm pretty sure he gave up 20 points just in the corner. He has to answer this. And like I said, I can jump in here and do things like this that really decrease the size of this territory by a lot. So if you actually look at what's happened, and there are certain problems in here. I guess not really. Oh wait, that was bad. I was afraid he would actually throw in here first, but that's fine now. Yeah, I've actually got to make sure that I don't make mistakes like those. That would be really bad. I'm gonna clean this up. Yeah, it's fine. Oh wait, snap. I can just block here, but then again, if I block here, this actually is, this might be pretty dangerous for me actually. Yeah, I might have to sacrifice something. That was my mistake. This actually turns out okay. I think he should have connected this one. I might have actually been dead if he did that. I did not watch out for that. Yeah, I think I would have been dead if he actually didn't connect this and connected this instead. No, 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 because then I can make an eye here. I guess I was safe. I mean, yeah. Connect this. Make sure this is alive. Might have been something there. But you see like how many points he actually made here in the end? He didn't make like this is like maybe 15 points, and he gave up this corner which is more than 15 points. Uh, and he also gave up a couple of moves over there. So overall, like it's a net loss for him in terms of points. The corner is very big, but he also gave up a ton of points on the side here. Um, I'm just going to do this. He did get a couple points there, but he's also giving this up, which is really big. Is that big enough? Yeah, probably. Why not? Or do I do this first? Because KOing this would be way bigger. There's nothing here. I can just Atari this way. Like, that move is pretty amazing. If he does this, I'm just going to connect here. Just connect here. There's nothing here. He wants me to do this, but you can always go, you can just take this stone and there's nothing here. This also creates a problem for him because now I can do this. Do I want to do this right now, though? Yeah, why not? Oh, can't do that. This actually might not be worth it.
You have won.
I don't actually know how much I'm winning by this game. This you just, what just happened? This you would just block. I can't do this. I do want to... Still processing on the points part. I would actually want to see... what's this plus gotta go thing? Oh, I have to become a supporter. I thought I had that. Oh well. I'm gonna go back to my profile and go with this. Okay, never mind. So the thing is, like, let's see how many points. He has like 8 here, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. He has 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. This is about 35 points. Here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. I mean, I'm only up by like 8 points. I didn't really play extremely well this game. But it happens a lot when I'm actually explaining things. Yeah, this is one of the Josekis. You can go down here as well. I wasn't extremely aggressive this game. These are just common Josekis. The thing is, like, when he does this, white can cut here. And there is a Joseki. There is actually a Joseki about this. I don't think this would actually, right now, I don't actually think this would actually work out well for black. I don't, like, I don't see how a good way you can get around this, because if you do this, white can cut here. So, because of my structure around here, I probably should have done this Joseki instead. There's a Joseki there. It's a pretty complex one. So I should have done that. This is fine. Realistically, if I just did this, he did this, and I just gave him that stone, it'd be perfectly fine as well. Here, maybe this is better. I'm not sure. Because I can't do this anyways. But since I did that, I was just thinking about doing this and giving him the 2 stones. Because now since you spent so many stones here, these aren't worth anything. This is probably not the best move in the world. I think like just taking advantage and sacking those 2 stones is probably better. So yeah, like here it's still about even. I like white's shape obviously because I get all this territory down here. I like white's shape anyways, but realistically, like this is fine. Here is a strange invasion for white, but white has the option to come back this way as well. So black has to do this. This is generally not a good move. I should have pretty much blocked immediately, I think, because it would force him to actually respond. But I just did this. You could do this, but like then you've given up a lot of your influence, the purpose of this influence. But either ways, I jump back up. He does that. I'm gonna block immediately. This is not a good move. I know you might be trying to get territory in here, but you're just basically making me stronger, and there's not enough territory in here to boot. So I connect, obviously. He does that. I'm going to come up here. He's going to do that. This invasion's not great, but it's fine, actually. It's okay. I think this... I don't know. I wasn't confident enough to actually do this, but I don't think this would have actually worked for me. Yeah, it wouldn't have actually worked. You know what? I should have done this. So I missed this. I should have done this. You know why? Because now I don't even have to go through any of that. If he decides to block, I can basically do this, and now he can't do anything. You can't take this anymore, right? So that's kind of like a move that I completely missed. So essentially, when he Hanes, you do this. Because he can't extend down. This is one of those like little Tsujis that, like, this is honestly one of those Tsujis that I just completely missed. Like, now that I'm reviewing the game, yeah, he did very well for an even game. Like, it's now since I'm reviewing the game, like, I just realized like I missed a bunch of these little Tsujis that would have helped me win by a lot more. But now since he's already Atari'd this like it's not very good. I was thinking about doing that actually, but I'm not. Okay, yeah, that would have worked a lot better for me. Never mind, because he would have. You can't actually Hane in, so that I should have done this. That would have been much better shape for me, and it actually would have reduced the amount of territory he had over here. So I messed up there as well. I actually I totally miscalculated this. Because I forgot that was in there. Like, this is actually Sente, and I can just go ahead and do something like this to live if I really needed to. I knew I already had the advantage here. By this point, I already knew I had a slight advantage. That's okay, because you're essentially trading the corner for the side, which is fine for me. Here, I believe that he should have still played this. You can save some of the corner, but that's not even the main point. This is actually not even the main point. By doing this and essentially giving me the corner, like you're letting white, a weak group that white has, actually base. So that's not a good thing. I'm going to go ahead and, I'm actually going to go ahead and do this, because if I don't and I just play somewhere out here, if he does this, I'm in a lot of trouble. He's fairly strong out here, and I don't have any eyes. So when he actually does this, and even right now, I might just do this as well to see what he does. Now, there is problems like if white plays something like this. All right, there's going to be problems if white plays something like this. Yeah, you lose by 1 here, I think. So there would be definitely problems if white plays something like this. So I guess like this is actually necessary. And of course, I need to make sure I'm alive here. I'm also going to play this just to make sure I'm alive over here. I'm not too afraid of this territory here. I'm really not, because he's going to have to give up more things to actually get this territory. And I think the sacrifice that he makes is going to be too much. I was also looking at like if he could actually do something like this, but this would not have worked. But this would not have worked. So I was okay with that. Come out here, destroy some of this territory. Just get these advantages while I can. I was actually afraid of this, right? Because if I take it, he can kill me. And don't think. Oh, this is a close one. This is a close one. Yeah, I can. I might be able to live. I might actually be able to live there. But I was definitely kind of afraid of this toss in. That would. I think that would live. No, it wouldn't. Yeah, it would actually, because he has to do this. But this could be Sente, so like this would actually be dead, right? So I was actually kind of afraid of that. I was definitely kind of afraid of that. Like you do this first. If you do this, this is just dead. But if I do this, you can. I guess I could. Yeah, it's still alive. Never mind. I guess he couldn't do that. So, did the right thing there. I do this. Yeah, I was kind of afraid of this, actually. But I guess I could squeeze here. If he... And then, like, yeah, it was alive here regardless. It's a little bit messy reading, so... This is the key move here. If I did just this, I mean, I would be alive anyways. I think, because there's no way you can actually kill it. So this group is actually alive. I was fine with this. I don't think I needed to connect that, but I just wanted to be sure. Like, at this point, I was pretty sure I was ahead. So I just wanted to connect that, just to make sure. That's pretty big. Yeah, this is fine. Tari. Do this. That's when he resigned. I don't know why it's white 8+1. So I suppose he can do this. If this is actually a move here that actually no, it wouldn't actually work. So he could have just done that, and I probably would have had to respond here. So I would have lost a couple points there. That's why suddenly you swap back to 8.1. I made a miscalculation here. So what I should have done is I should have just connected. And I would be up by like 11 points or so. So that's kind of the review for this game. I do think like overall, like trading the influence, like so eventually like trading the influence for the territory down here was actually about even, but he did attack this group wrong. He definitely attacked this group wrong. And if you look at the trade here, like when I play here, you should definitely extend down because this is in a cut. Extending up already gives me an advantage. Like here, like I said, here I should have just done this, like just giving you the 2 stones. Because this isn't that much territory. I've already got the corner, and now I've got the Sente. And then I can come out this way and completely kind of like, almost like ruin your shape here. If he wants to do this, that's fine. Like, actually, you know, like if I do this, like you don't even have those 2 stones. If he wants to do this, that's fine. I can just like invade out here now. And now like this looks just really bad. So that's what I should have done, because these 2 stones, like since he spent so much here, they're not worth all that much. So that's the game for today. Like and subscribe. Hit that bell notifications button. I will be back tomorrow, and I will see you guys later.